afternoon everyone, and a very warm welcome to another episode of MSFS in 2024. So today we are back here at lovely Bristol Airport. It's looking a little bit of a miserable day here in the UK, though there's no rain currently here at Bristol. We are on live weather and a live time, so chances are it'll probably be a little bit dark by the time we get to Madeira. So we're doing a flight over to Madeira. It's the Innerbuilds Madeira add-on that we've got, and also we've got SoFly at Bristol. If you want to check out the video from yesterday with a full tour around the airport, then feel free to check it out. So guys, let's jump on the aircraft, have a nice walk down and get us set up ready for our departure. So we're in the British Airways Fenix A319 IAE variant of engines. We've already had a little walk around, everything seems all good from this perspective, so we'll jump in the flight deck and we'll go from there. My mate's already up there, he's already had a walk around and everything is all good. So then guys, what we'll do is we'll get the aircraft powered up and get the boarding process started, and then hopefully by the time everyone's on board we'll be all set up and ready to go. Flight time's around 3 hours and 8 minutes to Madeira. I'm just going to double check the time is correct from this point of view. It should be real time, yeah. There we go. 118 passengers on board today, so we'll get everything all on and started. Need to put some power through the aircraft as well. We'll have a little chat in a little while about everything.
My name's Cameron. I'm half the entire crew. Very warm welcome on board this British Airways flight.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
So we'll get the ideas onto nav. Quickly check the cockpit voice recorder. Isolation valve can come off because we have no livestock on board today as well. We'll leave the seatbelt sounds off for the time being.
Departure checks completed. Bypass pin inserted.
Think rate. Pull up. Terrain.
Just run through the self-tests and we'll go from
Terrain.
there.
Pull
Weather
up.
radar system 1 predictive wind shear system is on TAA mode. Fortunately there's no ATC on at the moment. Obviously it is Monday, we'll just calibrate the artificial horizon and we'll go from there. Hope everyone's well. We done a couple of videos the last few days, and hopefully we get everyone on board. So far I'm really impressed with the software from SoFly, all seems pretty good as well. We've got a EasyJet aircraft taxiing to our left side. So guys, let's jump down to the MCD, we'll get it all set up and we'll go through the operational flight plan. So init request. Just waiting for this to catch up with the request. So if we need to divert, we'll be diverting to Tenerife, I believe, in the North Airport. So cost index is of 5, cruise level is 370, with a flex temp of minus 55 degrees. Current temperature is currently 12 degrees. Our tropo for this flight is 31492. Move to the next page and we'll get our block fuel all ready and on board. So block fuel today is 10.9 tons. Zero fuel weight is 53. Let's take weight. Where are we? 53.9. Just short. Sorry, 53.1. Takeoff weight's 59. So we're not above a maximum landing weights. Wait, look, we're just below it. Our CG today is going to be 29. On our trip wind, we've got a headwind of 23 knots. So obviously going to impact our flight across the H23. We'll move over to the performance page. What we'll do is we'll just quickly run this through the computer on here and just see what we need for our departure. So it's going to be a pax off departure with config 1. It's going to be full length. So we've got 127, VR 127, B2 133. Transition level is 7,000, I believe, for this airport, not 6,000. Flaps 1 and up 1.2. Flight to temp is 64. And engineering solution 2, 110 and 1610 on both. So let's jump down to our flight plan. And we're expecting, let's have a quick look at the brief on here. So we're expecting runway 27 for departure. It's the Exmoor 1 X-ray departure. And for our arrival, we're expecting runway 23. Chances are it's going to just be a visual approach, runway 23, but we've all planned for an RNAV approach. I think it's RNAV Alpha. Just double check that on the charts here. RNAV 23, and our arrival routine is the Lidro 1 Papa arrival, and go from there. We'll do, we'll get the try and get the brightnesses for you. There we go. So that's everything in the MCD setup. We're going to have a quick look at our secondary flight plan. For the time being, we'll just copy the active. And if we need to address that, we will. What we'll do is we'll just put the flight bill shut, and we will go from there. So we are here at Bristol. Let's have a quick look at our ground charts and our initial departure. We're located on stand number 6, I believe we are. Let's have a look, see what stand number we are actually on. Stand number 6, yeah. So we can expect it's quite an easy taxi routing out, really. Like I say, there's no ATC on, so initially we'll be facing south. It says. Then we'll be on to taxiway Zulu and the holding point Alpha X-ray for our departure. Then we're doing the Exmoor 1 Zulu departure, which is the tablet's really slow today. There we go. So initial climb is going to be 6,000 feet at Exmoor. So we'll get that planned in. So 6,000 blue. So we'll just keep this. So 118 passengers. I think we're just waiting for the rest of the fuel and the bags to come on board. QNH is 1002 hectopascals. Hey Trevor, how are you doing, mate? Hopefully everyone can hear everything okay and it's not too dreadful. So Like I said, we're just waiting for the rest of the fuel to go on. Once all the fuel's on, and we'll get ourselves going. So we've got 1 more minute to IRS alignment. We're nearly at our fuel as well. Welcome everyone on both the YouTube and TikTok. I hope you're all well. So we may have a little bit of ATC as we come over Portugal. Like I say, flight time today is 3 hours 24 minutes on 1,316 miles. So a little bit of a longer flight for you. I know some of you enjoy us having a longer flight. So we thought we'd try and accommodate that best we can. This is SoFly Bristol. For those of you that haven't been on SoFly Bristol before, this is what SoFly Bristol looks like. And so far, really impressed with it. No major issues with it. Really detailed terminal buildings, as I went through yesterday. Not quite a seamless experience walking from the car park all the way through, but there's no scenery that currently supports that. Got a nice sunset there. We are on live weather and time, so chances are it's going to be dark by the time we get into Madeira. Which will add an extra level of complexity for us. There's no such thing as 2025, mate. So 2024 is the latest, and it's still going to be updated. I'd imagine for another 6 or 7 years. Typically, every 6 to 7 years, a version of Flight Sim comes out. It's certainly a lot more stable than it was when it first released. This is a chappie on. So just going to double check all our audio controls are quite a busy airfield today, but I suppose most people can get them. So get seatbelt signs on, fuel's all loaded. I think we're just waiting for bags now. Once the bags are all on and loaded, get ourselves going.
Baggage is safely stowed. Please make yourself comfortable and keep the aisle clear for all remaining customers to join us on board.
Bristol Traffic Speedbird 97 radio check.
Including the use of e-cigarettes, vaping and other smoking devices is not permitted at any time whilst on board.
Thank you, same to yourself.
Toilets which are fitted with smoke detectors.
So, got a good radio check there from everyone.
And a very warm welcome on board this British Airways.
We're all pretty much ready to go. It's just literally waiting for the bags to go on. Once the bags are on, then we'll get ourselves pushed back ready for our departure. I don't know if we'll be able to see the EasyJet, not quite. We'll have to have a look so we're just getting all the bags on, as we said. So this is GSX for those of you that aren't too sure, that we're running, that runs all the ground services. And it works really well actually. There's always an update for it. Every time I log into the sim there seems to be an update for it, but there's not been an update for a couple of months, but you can literally go every time you log in. It's always pending an update of some description. And there's also GSX that allows for the seated passengers and the passengers walking out that you'd have seen earlier in the video. So yeah, Pasha, how are you doing, mate? Like I say, if you've got any questions, feel free to ask them throughout. Obviously, during the critical phases, we'll most likely not really talk about them. We'll have a little bit of a chat once we are up in the air about our simulator, some of the things that we've got coming to the channel soon, and explain a little bit there. Oh, wow. Wow, I've not seen that much dust before. So there's whole new ground textures here as well, so that could be part of that. Like I say, our tablet does seem to be causing us a few issues today. So initial climb 6,000 feet to Exmoor, so we're going to climb the initial left turn 223 degrees. So somewhat we need to be between 3,500 and 6,000. And I'll be over the Bristol Channel a little bit, over Exmoor, Minehead sort of area. And then we'll be tracking further south from there. Once we track south, we'll come out around Newquay area, and over into the English Channel. Just hipping over the tip of France, over the Bay of Biscay, on the northern westerly tip of Portugal, and then we'll be heading straight out towards Madeira. So that is our initial routing for today. I'm going to pop this in night mode so it's all ready, same as we're going to pop the lots of floodlights on as well. Just so we're all ready for the darkness. So what we're going to do is have a quick look, see how many bags we've got left. Well, there's a fair few, but what we'll do is we'll get put on the APU. So APU on and start. We'll go from there. Just the follow AH, mate. Thank you for that. If those of you want to see more content as well, feel free to check out our YouTube channel as well. We've got a fair amount of content on YouTube, probably a little bit more than TikTok at the minute. We tend to put a bit of variation on, to be honest, between the lot. So I've got one more cart to go, I think, once this other cart's done. And we're at ourselves pushed back from stand. I've never personally flown out of Bristol, so I couldn't tell you exactly how well it compares to the real thing, but I'd imagine it's fairly close. So APU's on and available, AV bleeder on, and external power can come off.
Hello and very good afternoon to you all. My name's Cameron, and on behalf of the entire crew, a very warm welcome on board this British Airways flight. To help us depart as soon as possible, please
Pretty happy with the sound pack for
securely into the overhead lockers.
British Airways, to be fair, it's pretty good.
With the yellow label to be placed under the seat in front of you. If you're sitting in a front row seat or an emergency exit row, the floor area around your seat must be completely
Hey Josh, how do mate?
Once your hand baggage is safely stowed, please make yourself comfortable and keep the aisle clear for all remaining customers to join us on board.
So all passengers are on board, it's just literally waiting for these lots of bags.
Vaping and other smoking devices is not permitted.
Seems to take forever and a day when you sit here watching it, to be honest.
Toilets which are fitted with smoke detectors. Once again, thank you and a very warm welcome on this British Airways.
So then, cockpit preparation, checklist, gear pins and covers removed. Fuel quantity is 10.9 tons. It is set to nav, seatbelts on. Bar 1002. Just have a quick look through the company messages. Cheers for the follow. So it's just our load sheet that's come through. No change there really. We are using the automatic stand allocation from VATSIM. So at the minute it says we're going to have 3.4 tons of fuel left after our alternate, which is Tenerife North if required. The weather looks okay, to be honest, at Madeira. I did have a quick gander of the weather. Have a quick look while we're waiting for the last few bags to go on. So our destination here, so our weather is variable at 5 knots, which is quite good for Madeira, to be honest. QNH 1020. It's becoming a little bit windier though, 220 at 15 knots, still within limits for the 319. You can take up to around 35 knots of crosswind. So a few clouds at 1,500 feet, broken at 3,000. So we'll see how we get on there. Hopefully no major changes. So we've got all that primed and ready. Got the Funchal, that's what I'm after. There we go, nearly there. Nearly there. Always takes forever when you're sat watching, waiting for the bags to come out. There's not much you can see here because of the stairs. And also, we're losing light quite drastically in the UK. It's typically dark by about 5 o'clock at the moment, so we'll probably be chasing the sunlight really. And then a couple more bags and then we will be done. This is the first time I've flown into Madeira, so it could be a bit of a sketchy landing. I know it's quite a challenging approach. But I've always wanted to fly here, to be fair. I was just waiting to get a little bit more confident with the 319 and we'll go from there. Like I say, there's a few clouds on the weather radar at the minute that we can see. So then, push back. Let's get that all primed and ready. So before start, park and brake is set takeoff speed and thrust 127, 127, 133, thrust 64. Windows and doors closed. And beacon can come on.
Locking gear.
So just waiting for the tug and everything to do its thing. Bristol traffic, Speedbird 97, pushing back from stand 6, facing south onto Zulu. So we're just waiting for him to do all his ground checks. Once they're all done and dusted, then so we want to be facing. Just trying to work out which one we want. Onto Zulu 4 to. We want 27. Right, let's we'll go for
Release parking brakes, please.
brakes released, clear to push.
Commencing push.
So we're gonna have to stand by a minute for engine start. Wait till we get pushed back from stand a little bit.
Cabin crew doors to automatic and cross-check, please.
Not sure exactly where he's pushing us, but we'll see where he decides to push us. What he may do is push us all the way back onto taxiway Zulu, which seems a little bit excessive.
Clear to start engines.
Start sequence 1 then 2, starting in 1. Bristol traffic, Speedbird 97 pushing back onto Zulu to face 27.
We ask that you remove your personal headphones until the end of the briefing. Portable electronic devices may be used during the flight as long as they are in flight safe mode. Unfortunately, Wi-Fi services will not be available on our flight today. Please complete any emails or messages you wish to send now before putting your devices in flight safe mode. Use handheld devices such as mobile phones, tablets and e-readers during takeoff and landing. You may also use personal headphones at these times. All of your items, including laptops, must be switched off and stowed away safely. As a reminder, smoking is not permitted at any time whilst on board. We will now demonstrate the safety features of this aircraft. Your attention is essential, as these may differ from any aircraft you've flown before.
Engine 1 available, starting engine 2.
Safety card in your seat area, as this includes important safety information specific to this aircraft type, such as brace position, clearly marked and are being pointed out to you now. Please take a moment to locate your nearest exit, bearing in mind this may be behind you. Opening the
Cheers for the
doors
like.
automatically inflates the evacuation slides. High-heeled shoes must be taken off as they may tear the slide. Please ensure that your seatbelt is fastened. It must be worn
Flaps
whenever the
one.
seatbelt signs are on, and it is fastened and adjusted like this, and opened like this. For your comfort and safety, we recommend that you keep your seatbelt fastened and visible at all times during the flight.
Please set parking brakes.
Brake set, clear to disconnect.
Unlocking gear.
Engine master 2 is start.
If you're wearing a face mask, this should be removed.
If you can come off.
An oxygen mask. Stay
If
in
you
your
lead
seat
off.
and pull the oxygen mask towards you. Place the oxygen mask over your mouth and nose and breathe normally, adjusting the band to secure it. Please note that the bag may not inflate.
Start, anti-arse not required, ACAM status, check pitch trim, 1.2 up. Rudder trim
Make sure your
is
own
neutral.
mask is fitted before helping anyone else.
Flight controls, follow.
Your life jacket is underneath or beside
All
your
down.
seat. If required,
Neutral.
remove the jacket
All left.
from the container and pull it over
All
your
right.
head.
Neutral. All left.
Tow truck
All left.
disconnected. Bypass pin removed.
All right. Neutral.
Left is clear. Right is clear.
There is he on the left side with a pin. So just wait for him with the pin.
Pull the red toggle as shown. The air can be topped up by using this mouthpiece. There is a whistle and a light for attracting attention.
There's the
Do
pin.
not inflate your life jackets until you are outside the aircraft. Any personal devices with flight safe mode should have this feature enabled.
So we've not gone on to taxi, so what we'll do is we'll just quickly go through the taxi checklist. So taxi checklist, flight controls, check flap setting, conform, preserve, radar, predictive windshield system, on and auto, eco memo, take off no blue, engine mode select to normal.
If it does, please do.
Apart from the blue for the cabin, which we can expect. And
Devices must be switched off and disconnected from any seat power sockets when not being used in flight. Please ensure your hand baggage does not block the aisles or exits. It must be put under the seat.
just make sure we're not holding anyone else up. Seems to have taxed us perfectly though.
In the event of an evacuation, you must move quickly to the closest usable exit, taking nothing with you. Please now ensure that your seat is in the upright
Taxi
and
lights.
take-off position with the armrest down and your tray table is folded away. Window blinds must now be in the open position in preparation for takeoff. Smoking, including e-cigarettes, vaping and the use of other smoking devices is not permitted.
Bristol traffic, speed of 97,
This includes the toilets.
Funchal, runway 27, upper X-ray.
If you have any questions, please ask a member of your cabin crew. Thank you very much for your attention.
Cabin's ready.
Shall we be dimming the cabin lighting for takeoff? This is normal procedure for flights in the hours of darkness. If you require any additional lighting, please
Brake
use
check.
the button in the panel above your head. Cabin crew seats for takeoff.
Flat deck.
Camera door 1 left. Cabin secure for takeoff.
Wonderful, thank you. Packs 1 and 2, both off. Lineup checklist, please. Lineup checklist. Take everyone confirm 27 Alpha X-ray. Config 1 plus F TCAS. TA Packs 1 2 both off. Bristol traffic speedbird 97, lineup runway 27 for an immediate departure. So if we're happy, we'll do a rolling takeoff. Packs back off. Let's hold us up to a second. Landing lights on. Strobes on. Lost 40%. Take off. And a flex Saros Romy auto thrust buoy. Thrust set 100 knots. B1 rotate. Positive, climb girl please. No. Let's climb. Backs 1 and 2 with them. Speed check flaps 0. Bristol traffic speed with 97 passing 4,300 feet, X-Mall 1 X-ray departure. AP1. Around that, so we've got a little bit of cloud.
All phones should be placed to silent to avoid disturbing other customers. Video and phone calls are also not permitted at any time during the flight. We're about to start our onboard service. If you have a food allergy or would like information on specific allergens on today's flight, please contact any of us. As you're seated in our Club Europe cabin, we're offering you a complimentary meal and drinks from the bar.
Perfect, more we can climb to our cruise level of 370. So 370 managed. Transport list assigned.
Now, we invite you to make yourself a flat time and enjoy the hospitality of British Airways. If there is anything that my team or I can do to make your journey more comfortable, please just let us know. Thank you for your attention and enjoy your flights.
So let's get inbound Northma. Off that loaded corner. Cheers for the follow, Jason. So we're going to start our climb now to our cruise level 370. And we'll go from there. We'll have a little bit of a chat. There will be a little bit of time where I do step out just to do a few bits during the flight. We'll obviously keep an eye on the ATC areas that are online. At the moment we've just got Portugal online, which we should intercept slightly as we come into Portuguese airspace. So far, really impressed with the scenery out Bristol. It seems pretty good. Anything to complain about. So, standard pressure. Fantastic landing lights go off. Just stand by for a couple of minutes before we release them. Just wait till we get through this next patch of cloud. Once that's out of the way, we will go from there. Let's say flight time's around 3 hours. We'll go from there, see how we get on. We managed to save a little bit of fuel as well. Our landing time should be 19:35 local. So we'll release the cabin. Go from there. So guys, what we'll probably end up doing is an RMP approach into Madeira. If you guys want, we can change the time so you can still see it in the daylight if you wish. It's entirely up to you how you want to do it. If you want to keep it realistic and we can stick to night time, that's fine. Then we can always do a return flight on another day. Like I say, once we get to our cruise level, we'll have a little bit of a chat about our simulator setup and also what you can expect to come in the next few months. Obviously, I presume most of you have seen that Wing brought out 2 new products last night, and that's the Wing, I'd like to say it's called AGP, which is basically the chrono, the auto brake panel, and the landing gear lever. And also the eCam as well was brought out last night from Wing. We'll have a little bit of a chat about that in a little bit more detail shortly. So where we're flying from? So we've flown from Bristol Airport in the UK, which is on the southwesterly side of the UK, and then we're going over to Madeira Airport, which is just above the Canary Islands. Funchal, I think that's how you pronounce it. Which is off the west coast of Africa. Like I say, it's about a couple of 100 miles north of the Canary Islands. So that's where we're flying to today. Susanna, if the answers your question. So in that Salco, what we'll do is we'll have the terrain on navigation as well, so we can keep an eye on that. So what we may do actually is have terrain on the cruise side. So those of you that have been following the channel for a little while, you'll know some of the things that we've got in store coming up to the channel in the next few months. But like I say, we'll have a little bit of a discussion now. We'll get to our cruise level and we'll have a little bit of a chat about that once we are in the cruise. So one thing we can do is we can do some fuel checks as well. So where's the next waypoint? So that'll be Torquay, I guess. So we want 9,048 tons fuel. Magic probably will be there. I'm not going to burn another ton of fuel in 20 miles, I would think. Like I say, it's a fair few nice views of the UK as well. Good to get a decent view, to be fair. A little better views from the flight though. So this is Torquay that we can just see here. Like I say, and then we'll be tracking over just to the tip of France. It's Reest, I think it is, on the westerly tip. Like I said, and then over the Bay of Biscay, and into the top of Spain, and then down into Portugal. We're only in Portugal for a short period of time, and then we start tracking over open ocean again towards our destination in Funchal. So we've got 12,056 miles. If we save a little bit of fuel, we maybe have to burn a little bit more and increase our speed a touch as well. So we're still continuing to climb at 240 at the minute. Cruise is 370. Yeah, so how we're doing. Like I say, guys, if any of you got any questions, I will try and answer them as best as I can. Like I say, there's not much ATC on, which is a little bit of a shame. It'd be nice if we could have a little bit of ATC on. It's very rare that you ever see ATC on at Madeira, to be honest. I've personally never seen it online. It probably is from time to time. Same with the Canary Islands. There's a good aircraft en route to Madeira now. Like I say, we may try a visual approach depending on how the daylight is. If it's too dark, then obviously we'll have to do the RMP approach. Depends on the visibility, and we'll go from there. As you can see, we're way off the SID now. It just gives you a little bit of representation of where we are. The grand scheme of things, it's got a fair way to go yet. Cheers, Estonia, for the follow. How we doing? Happy to see you, Estonia. How doing, mate? Are you okay? Like I say, guys, if you've got any questions, feel free to ask. I'll try and answer them. I'm no major expert. I do know the A320 and A319 fairly well now. Like I say, once we get onto our cruise, we'll have a little bit more of a detailed chat about the channel itself. Yeah, no worries, buddy. Yeah, feel free to ask any questions. Yeah, I'm good, thank you, mate. Apologies, a little bit later streaming than I hoped. I was hoping for a little bit of an earlier stream, to be honest. When starting off from VATSIM, is it easier to land or take off? Take off, I would say, personally, is easier. If one is like, VATSIM is something to be scared of. The most important thing is when you're flying offline, as you currently are, just to ensure that you basically, obviously each have their own challenges, but you need to be fairly confident in flying the aircraft, knowing how to land it safely. Don't get me wrong, there'll be times where you mess the landings up. We mess them up most weeks, Yeah, they have different complexities really. I would say personally for me, I would say landing's a little bit more stressful because you've got to think about landing, and you've got to also think about where you're exiting the runway as well. Especially if it's somewhere like Gatwick or Heathrow that's generally speaking most of the time got ATC online. Obviously I've flown in and out of Gatwick quite a lot now, so I know pretty much the taxi routing. But if you go into a new airport, you may not know the routing very well. And busy airports, so like Frankfurt and even Portugal, Lisbon is quite a challenging. Can be quite challenging. Yeah, go-arounds are allowed. Yeah, if you've missed the touchdown zone, go-arounds are perfectly allowed. All you need to do is make sure you follow the standard procedure for the go-around, which are obviously listed on the charts. So yeah, you absolutely can do a go-around if that's your decision to make. ATC will ask for a reason for the go-around. Generally speaking, 9 times out of 10 miles just because the aircraft's unstable on the last bit of the approach. Don't get me wrong, there are times where I do land and you probably should go around, to be fair, but depends on how long the flight is, depends on what. What do you need to say to ATC for a go around? So it's fairly easy really. You just your call sign and just say go around, and they won't give. Very rarely they give instructions based on that. They may just say your call sign, then follow the standard missed approach procedure, and go from there. Generally speaking, immediately after they won't give you instructions straight away, obviously because you're trying to deal with that go around. Once you start climbing out the airport, then they'll probably give you a further turn and go from there. Yeah, it's nothing to worry about. If you do a go around, you do a go around. Like at Madeira here today, there's a good chance we could do a go around. Hopefully not, but there's always the chance, especially with Madeira because it has its own unique challenges. Madeira does. It's a very, very short runway, and also it also has a lot of wind challenges as well. I think the wind today is not going to be too much of an issue. Not necessarily in Cessna, because obviously the Cessna doesn't require as much runway. If you're using the 320 obviously, or anything bigger, then yes, it's more vital. Don't get me wrong, we've all missed the touchdown zone. I miss it most times, to be fair. I'm more surprised when I hit the touchdown zone than when I don't hit the touchdown zone, to be honest. We're expecting runway 23 at Madeira as well, which I've personally never flown into. I think I've maybe flown into 05. That is quite challenging though, because you're really close to the terrain. Yeah, so too early is more of a problem. A little bit late in a Cessna is not so much of an issue, as long as it gets down fairly stable. Obviously with the Cessna there's a lot more risks involved with it flipping than with the 319. Once they're on the ground, typically they normally stay on the ground. Let me show how they're doing. So we're about Salco. We'll just do a quick fuel check based on Atlanta. So Salco, we need to have 8.7 tons of fuel. We're well above that, 9.5. So we're not far off our cruise. We're really, really close to the cruise, to be fair. What we may do is we may just go to managed speed Mach 0.8. Sorry, selected speed, not managed speed. We'll just increase our climb a little bit. So how do I remember what it tells me when they say take? So you take. So typically when you take off, there's not a huge amount of information. The most important bit of information, I would say, and the stuff that I normally write down, is on landing. So on landing, all happens very, very quickly. So yeah, I tend to write down taxi instructions. I tend to have a little notepad in the corner Obviously, it depends on what airport. If you're going to somewhere like Madeira, the taxiing's really, really straightforward. There's literally one taxiway. But when you go to somewhere like Gatwick, I tend to write down a little notepad, to be fair, or either on just the system notes, just to, or even sometimes I even pop it in the MCDU. It depends how I'm feeling on the day. Yeah, so it depends on how busy the airport is, whether I write something down. Like Bristol, there's only one major taxiway, so there's not really much benefit in doing that. Yeah, maybe at Stockholm, yeah, you probably would need to be fair. After landing, I would say, is another critical phase for writing things down, because it all happens very quickly. Because you'll land, you'll obviously clean up the aircraft to get the flaps and spoilers retracted. I'm talking anyway from an Airbus perspective. Maybe it's a little bit different in a Cessna. Like I say, you'll get all that in and done. Once that's done, you'll then obviously vacate. Depending on where you've been told to vacate, some airports there is a designated vacation place. Sometimes on the ATIS also will tell you where they expect you to vacate. Obviously, it doesn't always happen, depends on how good your landing is. But I always tend to take that into consideration. But yeah, typically, so you'll obviously land, you'll clean up the aircraft, you'll vacate the runway. If you're in an Airbus, then you'll go through the after landing checklist, which takes about 20 seconds to do. Not even that, a couple of seconds, just to turn the radar windshield system off. And then normally tower that will then pass you over to ground. So another important thing to do before you land, if there is lots of ATC online, is to obviously have the frequency tuned already. So you'll notice that in some of my other videos that I typically have the next frequency tuned if I know that we're going into that frequency. And that's just for ease, to be fair, so it's one button to press, not got to tune it in after landing. And then basically they'll give you your taxi instruction and your stand number, so that's where it's important to write the bits down. Hopefully that explains it a little bit more, Estonia. What we got over on YouTube, Head Dark Poison, how are we doing? Well, I don't think you're the first viewer, there's been a few people on. But you're the first person to put a comment on there anyway. How are we doing, buddy? Are you okay? Yeah, so it's entirely up to you how you want to do it. You can have a harder airport to take off, or if you just want to build your confidence. Obviously, I don't know whereabouts you're based in Estonia. Like I say, I fly mostly in the UK, so there's a couple of good airports in the UK for fairly easy routing but busy traffic. Is Edinburgh, I would say, East Midlands, Bristol not so much, Gatwick is a little bit more complicated, and then Heathrow's on another level. Sorry to hear that, mate. Sorry, I'm trying to have two conversations. I've got two live chat boxes, obviously, got TikTok and YouTube as well at the same time. Like I said, it's fairly easy to get those. So I think we're just about to hit that tip of France, and we are obviously at cruise at the moment. See whereabouts. So we'll stay at selected speed, but now we've got plenty of fuel extra. What do I need to talk to ATC? How do you mean? Like in hardware, need a decent microphone. Well, I'd say microphone, whichever. Personally, I use a HyperX Cloud headset, and also the Quadcast microphone. But obviously, I use that for streaming a lot as well. So I don't always want to wear my headset, which is the reason why we have a bit of both, to be honest. So, like I say, we're at our cruise now. It's a fairly leisurely fly now. Next waypoint is Lottie, which is just over the bay, well, towards the end of the Bay of Biscay, just before we go into Spain. Yeah, so you basically so I presume you have vPilot installed. So once you install vPilot, which is the application that uses VATSIM, in the settings there'll be an option there to set your push to talk button. So typically I have that as my trigger that's on the back of my joystick, just so if we're flying the approach in manually, then we can still talk without having to take my hand off the side stick, obviously. So then guys, let's have a little chat about our channel and what to expect coming up. So most of you, or if you've joined us before, you will know that we have ordered an overhead panel. Unfortunately there's been some delays on that, and it's from Java Simulator. Hopefully I'll get some pictures for you actually to show you, but so from Java Simulator, it's quite a nice overhead, to be fair. Personally, it's not in testing phase, it's been tested, but they found a couple of issues during production. One being that the USB port didn't feel as sturdy as it should do for prolonged use, so they decided to replace the USB port on it, which then meant they had to buy some more components, which set the delivery back by around a week. On top of that, then we had another issue, and that other issue was related to the circuit board. So they decided to change for a slightly better circuit board, which was related to the USB problem. I can't remember specifically what they said was wrong with the circuit board, but basically they've had to, there's a couple of items that they've noticed weren't as durable as they should have been, and they felt after prolonged use that could become an issue. So they have put the shipping back until the 20th of this month, which is a little shame, but to be honest, I'd sooner than be honest and actually get me a decent product rather than one that's half-heartedly made. So they've also got good attention to detail. They have sent me a picture of it as well, and it looks really good. So that is from Java Simulator. Most of you probably would have heard of them if you're looking at hardware. Debated for a long time about overheads and what to go with, so we did have a look at sim gauges overhead, and I did like it, but it's a little bit on the small side, and I wanted something a little bit bigger, just to sort of fit in a little bit better. For those of you who know that we've got the next level racing mounts, and also we've got an overhead panel on our monitor mount as well, so that should be quite neat once that's done. Not sure how the camera views are going to quite work with it, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So you can buy that direct from Java Sim. Like I say, there is a delay on the product. It's coming from Thailand, I believe it's made in. But all the software's installed ready, it's just literally waiting for the device itself. It's a fairly decent size as well. It also has some built-in overhead LEDs as well, so if we want to light up some of the desk area here, we can do. That was one of the things that swung it for me a little bit. I sort of thought out of the box a little bit with that. So yeah, don't get me wrong, it wasn't cheap. I think it was around $500 US, so it's about £400 UK pounds, and that also doesn't include the shipping. So the shipping, depending on how you want it, if you want it really quick via air, well, they both come via air, but if you want it really quick with DHL, I think within 4 working days, it's quite expensive, like over £100 for delivery. But there's a cheaper option that's around £60 for the delivery, which is the option that I'm going to choose when the time comes, and obviously then you've got your customs import stuff as well. So it's not cheap, it's certainly a considered purchase, hopefully a nice long lasting purchase. Obviously if we have too many more issues, then we will have to consider about cancelling it. Depends how long realistically it's going to take. In fairness, they've been really good at communicating, which is why I've kept the order with them, and obviously once that product's here we'll do a review as well. Lorenzo, how are we doing? Hope you are well. Sorry to hear that dark poison anyway. Hopefully things work out a little bit going forward. Yeah, I hope everyone's well. Like I say, thank you for joining us this afternoon or this evening. Like I say, we're going to pretty much watch the sun go down on us. We had some nice views as we exited Bristol. Lovely views of the clouds, to be fair. Like I say, we just literally entered French airspace. We're going to fly over this pretty much this little tip here, and then we'll be straight over the Bay of Biscay into the top of Spain. Also, if you guys have any suggestions for channel changes or any setup changes, feel free to ask about them as well. So obviously let's have another chat about other hardware. So I don't think I've told anyone this, but we have pre-ordered the wing throttle for the A320. Unfortunately, it's not going to be, well, it's saying at the minute the lead time is the 30th of December. So realistically it's going to be January, I think, the time we receive that. And it's the full metal including the spoilers and flaps. And the main reason is so we can basically swap out this Bravo throttle quadrant. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with the Bravo throttle, it's just so everything's all tuned in easier. Not sure what's going to happen with the radio panel. It all depends on when Wingwing release their RMP. If they release it fairly quickish, then we will order it straight away. But that depends on when. If not, we'll stick with it for a little while. The old Cytec radio panel, which we've had for years, to be honest, still does the trick. It's just not quite as intuitive as the actual Airbus RMP. Lorenzo, how are we doing? So we want to fly Microsoft flights in 2024. Card markers. Okay, so what sort of specs have you got on your PC, Lorenzo? So like this PC is not like the top spec going, and obviously I stream and stuff with it. It is a little bit more doable with the new updates and things. Like I say, it's kind of a try it and see how you get on. You might not be able to run things quite as high, but yeah, it's definitely worth it if you can get the money to obviously buy the components for the PC. It's certainly worth it. The 2024 versus 2020, it is nice and stable now. Initially it wasn't very stable, but it's quite a stable platform at the moment. Like I say, so our throttle, hopefully that will come shortly after. We have also ordered the mount for it, just the desk mount. Reason being is because I made a bit of a purchase last night, and we ordered the Wingwing ECAM and the landing gear panel as well. So that was ordered at 2 o'clock last night, along with every other man's dog. Hopefully that will be with us in the next few weeks. But it's all paid for, and it's all, the order's all been accepted. It's just waiting for that to go into production, which I don't think will be too long, to be honest. Previously, when I've ordered things straight from the global shipping, it was the MCU we ordered. It came really quick, within like 2 weeks. It was at my door. You got the Ryzen 5600 and alright, so yeah, it's probably your, oh hang on, 660 XT, so that's an AMD card, isn't it? Okay, so it's not a hugely issue. So I run the Ryzen 7800X3D is what we run. It's your RAM as well makes a big difference with this game. So we actually run 64GB of RAM, though we only use realistically around 30 of that. And also we've been considering actually moving to an AMD card. As much as I've always had Nvidia, the prices of them are a little bit extortionate. But we've been considering going to the 20GB card. Normally I buy most of my components from eBuyer in the UK. However, I understand that they went into administration in August, so that means you can't buy components from them. You can buy some things from them, but just not components at the moment. Obviously you have to consider I'm also running VATSIM, Streamlabs, Volanta, Navigraph, got a web browser open. We're also running Sky Dolly in the background. There's quite a lot of programs in the background that run with this. Yeah, so 32GB would be more than suitable. So I have 64, but it only uses about 32 at max. And yeah, so that would be your issue, Lorenzo, is it would be your VRAM. So we have a 12GB card, and to be honest, it does struggle a little bit at times, especially coming into landing. That's why we get them stutters from time to time. So ideally what you want is a 16GB VRAM card at a minimum, really. I know they have made some changes to VRAM usage, so it is a little bit more friendly than it used to be. But yeah, that's probably where your bottleneck is, to be fair. I would imagine the processor, it's between processor and GPU, but it utilises the processor a lot more than you would think compared to most games. So guys, I'm just going to grab a drink quickly. Hey Polly, how are we doing? Like I say, any more questions, feel free to put them in the comments, and when I come back in a few minutes I will answer them the best I can. So we're back in a few minutes. We'll give you a nice, should we give you an outdoor view? Where do you want to see? Not much to see really. Give you a nice view there, and I'll be back in a couple of minutes. Like I say, if you've got any questions about any of the Wing products, the only thing I'm a little bit unsure with the Wing, with the eCam and stuff, is I don't know how I'm going to mount it in the meantime. So the mount that the throttle's coming with is not available currently, which is stressing me a little bit because I'm now thinking, oh, where am I going to put this in the eCam and the EGKK? I think we're just going to go on the top of here and move this across to the left hand side and put this on here. The only thing is it's going to protrude a little bit into the screen on this side, but we'll have it in a shorter orientation, I think, for the time being. Let's put it back up before we go. The PC I have is almost 4 years old, and I just want a new PC, so going for 16GB, yeah. And that's what I'd recommend, is 16GB. I wouldn't go for anything less, if I'm honest, especially if that's what you want to play as flight sim. And one thing I would suggest doing, and it's okay if you don't want to, depends how big your current PC case is. So I've got one of the NXZT, I don't know, cases, and it's one of the peculiar shaped ones, so it's really wide. It also has like 2 levels, so you've got the easier for cable management, also a lot of fans, and it's a big case. So if you've got the space for a nice big case, I would certainly recommend ordering a big case, because I've had that case now 3 years. I've upgraded twice already, and it's just really good, future-proof you a little bit as well. There we go. Cheers for the like. No, we're in Flight Sim 2024, buddy. That's where we're at the moment. Like I say, feel free to give us a like, comment, subscribe. Also head over to our YouTube channel as well, Fly With Me Simulations, and you can then also see some more content on there as well. We are trying to do a bit more on TikTok. The problem I have with TikTok is just the video length is the problem. But most people tend to just watch, when I look at all the statistics on videos, most people tend to watch the sort of start up and taxi out. Not many people watch this sort of phase of the flight when in the cruise. So we do normally put that down onto no worries, Lorenzo. Like I say, feel free to join us back, mate, if you've got a little bit more time. Any more questions, feel free to drop us a message. And drop me a DM as well on TikTok if you wish, if you've got any burning questions, and I can send you a full sort of like system spec of mine if you wish as well. And yeah, just drop us a DM. Hey, Bristol, how are we doing, mate? I'll see you over on the YouTube as well, mate. Thank you for that. So feel free to give us a subscribe, and you can see quite a bit of content. When these Wing products do arrive, we will be doing a full review. Granted, we're not going to be the first person to do the review, because obviously people get pre-releases. Unfortunately, our channel is not big enough yet to get extra things like pre-releases. Though I think SoFly did reach out to me last night and said that they are going to they're basically going to join in, and they're going to, like, not a sponsor, but they're going to share our short review that we did on the Bristol. So guys, I'm back in a minute. I said I'll be going in a few minutes. I'll be back in a few minutes, just grab a drink, and we'll see you in a minute. Cheers. Hey guys, all back with you. So feel free to. Am I going to do a return flight? No, I'm not. Just because of the time late. We will do a return flight at some point, but that'll probably be in a few days' time. So I'm back to work tomorrow, or it'll probably be Thursday, I guess. With our next video. Now, first festive mince pie as well. So any gifts received on TikTok do all go towards the channel and simulator. Currently I've not redeemed any of it, but that's where it'll go towards if you decide to. But there's no pressure to do that. Main reason being on TikTok really is just because it's catches a little bit of a better audience and tends to get more views during our flight, especially for long flights. It can be quite long and laborious if there's not many people on YouTube, so looking to put a bit of both really. Nice little sunset there as well, so hopefully the weather's not going to be too bad in Madeira. What we'll do, request the latest weather for Madeira. Weather request. We'll do is head over to the messages page, and then we'll just wait for that weather radar. So the weather probably 22 degrees Celsius, broken clouds at 3,000 feet, few clouds at 1,600, Kunitz 1019, and the wind's currently 090 at 3 knots. So nice and calm for Madeira, which makes a change. So we've got an 18-minute delay code, so that's because of loading issues. So if you want to pop a delay code in, delay allocation card, so this gives us our excuses really. So it'll be a loading error RLL, or it could be, let's do RLS actually. So RLS for 18 minutes, so ADC delay. Oh, yes, that's the code. 18 minutes. A little reason. Fly on bags. There we go. Like I say, if anyone's got any questions, feel free to ask them. I'll try to answer the best I can. We've not really seen many of the videos for. But have a quick look at this. So it's about 20 miles to the west of us, 2,000 feet above. I don't know to see him from here. Like I said, at the minute it just looks like we've got an open area. Once we get to Lottie, we'll do a quick fuel check just to make sure we've not used too much fuel. We've got 8.5 tons left. And now for our alternate. So and we'll have 1.7 tons left. Which is around about an hour flight from there back to Tenerife. So got about enough time for around 2 go arounds. If after that we'll have to then divert, which hopefully we don't need to. If we do, we do. Like I say, we're having a quick look at some of the videos for the new wing panels as well. There's loads and loads of videos out there now. If you want to have a look at the new ECAM and the AGP panel, really good one by A330 driver, who is an ex-pilot as well. So Lottie is the next waypoint. After Lottie, Pinnock. One thing that we can do though is we can start having a look at our arrival into not La Palma, into Madeira. So one thing we can do is we can have a look at the runway. So LPMA23 is the waypoint. So what we're going to do in here is we are going to add in an extra piece of information. What we want to do actually, I'm just trying to work this out a minute, is we want to put a radius around the airport. So roughly we know around where 10 track miles is of the airport. So what we'll do is we'll put LPMA23, we'll put that in the discontinuity box, and it's going to look very, very strange for the minute. We'll insert that, and when we go into here, no actually, we can't go into that, ignore me. There we go, fix info, this is what we want to do. So if we go into fix info, LPMA 23, is that right? Oh, the runway is now. Pop that into the reference fix, and what we can do is we can set a radius around the airfield. So what we'll do is we'll set a 10 mile radius around the airfield, which you should be able to just about see on here. But until it's inserted, you're probably not going to see it. And the other thing we want to do is we want to set a nice centre line for the runway. So another thing we can do with that, so obviously it'll be 230 degrees minus 180 degrees, so 050 degrees radial. And that will give us a rough track of the airport as well. So you can see here, we have a look. So this big circle, that big blue circle, is the 10 mile radius, and then the other blue dotted line is the ILS track. One thing we will do is just double check to see what the exact track is of the airport, which, to be honest, I do have a printout of this airport. So it's actually 229 degrees. It's actually a little bit different than that. So what we can do then, so we want to do 229 minus 180, which is obviously 49 degrees. So if we do 49 degrees into here, it will just get us a little bit better on the ILS track. And that will give us a nice extended centre line there, up to however many miles that we want really. You can also do an A-beam point as well, so that is a point of where the so we'll insert all this, so that gives us our nice big circle 10 miles out. It gives us an A-beam point to then make a left-hand turn, and it also gives us our ILS track as well. So when we are on the approach, then we can basically make an informed decision with our what. One thing we need to do is just get rid of the flight plan discontinuity as well, which you'll see here. Just insert that. We'll still keep our 10-mile radial mark. At least then you'll know roughly where you're at with everything. He says. So that's the 10-mile radial. We could also do a 15-mile radial if you wish to. Do a little bit of a longer approach, but I'd say 10 miles is typically absolutely fine. I've just literally put the wrong numbers in here. Can you give me a flight idea to do in Europe about 1 hour 30 minutes? So, are you based in the UK, Saran, or not? If so, nice 1 hour 30 minute flight. Let's think of this. You can do like an Edinburgh to Oslo, that's about 1 hour 30. You can also do like Gatwick to Zurich, that's 1 hour 30. Innsbruck's about 1 hour 30, I think. It all depends on the winds though, that's the thing. Yeah, it depends. Obviously that doesn't include setup time either. Aviation, love, how do you, mate? Just having a bit of a mare with my plan. I don't know what I've done here. Well, I do know what I've done, but... Right, fix info. Let's clear that. Let's clear that. So we want a 10-mile radial. That's what we want. That gets all sorted there because there's a nice extended centre line then. I've got no aircraft over to our left side, it says about 2,000 feet higher than us, so no major issues. So we're just about to come to the top of Spain. Yeah, Zurich's quite a nice flight to be fair. I'm trying to think, what's near Zurich? Oh, Geneva, that's another nice one as well. Yeah, how we doing, Aviation Level, mate? You okay? Yeah, Phil, how we doing? You flying the 737, want to get back into the Phoenix? So I always used to fly the 737, always. Now I'm a bit fixated with the Phoenix, really. They do fly completely differently. And I think that's the worry about going back to Boeing's, because they fly completely differently. Good, mate. What are you up to this evening? So much? What are we in? Oh, it's like 5 actually. I feel like it's late. It's these new dark nights. It certainly feels a lot later than it actually is. One thing we can do though, while we're proceeding along, we're still at 949 miles left to go, but one thing we can do is have a look to see how much runway we're going to use for our landing. So if we go down to the arrival performance, and as far as we know it's dry, we can just refresh the METAR quickly just to make sure we've got the latest weather. 110 degrees at 3 knots. 21 degrees Celsius, QNH 1019. So it's going to ask for our landing weight, which we can get from the tablet here. Pilot brief and summary. So landing weight 56.6 tons. This is where it's going to have a meltdown. So 56.6. And so we can actually use autobrake low quite nicely. We probably will use autobrake medium. The reason being is we want to obviously make sure we can vacate fairly quick on. If we obviously auto land will take a little bit more, but hopefully we can go manual landing. So yeah, typically we'll probably go with autobrake medium just in case we miss that touchdown zone slightly. Where are we? So we are flying. We're pretty much just about to enter Spanish airspace. Show you on the map. So we're flying from Bristol obviously to Madeira, that's where we're flying to. So this is the top of Spain here, So we're just over the Bay of Biscay at the minute, and then into the top of Spain. Typically just into Portugal, but not for very long. Once we're into Portugal, we'll then start tracking further westerly and then down into the lovely Madeira. The Canary Islands a little bit further down. We have an alternate of Tenerife's north, so we'll see how we go. Hey panel, how we doing? Like I say, if anyone's got any questions, don't know if maybe you've heard all this, so we are expecting some more products to come for the sim. So we are getting the new wing ECAM and ACP, whatever you call it, with the landing gear lever. We have also pre-ordered the throttle from Wing as well, which obviously comes with the flaps and the speed brakes, and also a mount for that as well. So we're not going to see that realistically for a little while. So we've just had the approach frequency pop up for auto approach. We'll have a quick look at the restrictions. So if you double click on here, it normally tells you if there's a restriction for airspace. It doesn't actually tell you, to be quite honest. So we can have a quick look at control room info. Sometimes it tells you what area it is. So we want to tune in 120910. 120. It won't show on the screen, unfortunately, until we've done it. So 12091. Going the wrong way here. Yes, we are on that sim, mate. Shots. Yeah, tuned. So that hasn't updated yet, which is typical, to be fair. Quite often is like that until we tune the main frequency. Yeah, we're on the VATSIM network, buddy. Also, we've enabled something called auto stand allocation as well. Where on VATSIM can I see the airspace? So there's a few ways you can see it. So you can see here the control zones, but I have Volanta open in the screen on my left side, which I can't really show you. But so Volanta also shows you, it's freeware as well, it shows you all the online ATC, and also in my panel with vPilot I've noticed obviously the approach controllers come online. But if you want to see what airspace they cover, what you do is you go onto your vPilot, double click on the frequency, and if there's any altitude restrictions it will tell you. It doesn't specify any altitude restrictions, but it could be there is some restrictions. If you want to, you can also use VAT map as well. If you type VAT map into Google, that'll also give you a decent amount. Yeah, it's a shame that you can't actually see it built in. It would be nice if you could, to be honest, to have it built into the charts. That may be something that comes in the future, because obviously VATSIM and Navigraph have just joined in a partnership. So that could be something that we see going forward. So after landing, we could probably have a quick look at the arrival charts actually. So we're going to be expected realistically to do it in a RMP approach runway 23. So let's have a quick look at the RMP approach and see what restrictions we have. So max flight level 100 at Pilum. Oh, 3000, sorry, at Pilum. Max of 230 knots. We can hold here as well if we need to lose some altitude. There is a holding point there. And then we'll proceed down to. Let's just change the colour on this. So we're going to enter here somewhere. And we'll proceed down to MA410. Like I say, we will try and do a manual approach if we can, and then this is pretty much the RMP approach that we're going to follow down in this line here. have a quick look at it, so it's the leisure arrival that we're doing. There isn't actually any particular height restrictions apart from we need to be above 4,000 for there and 3,000 for here. This is the point we're going to intercept. And follow this track all the way down. We'll go from there, and obviously we've got the airport down here. For a visual approach, let's see what it says. So all turns must be done over sea, which is pretty obvious because of the high terrain. Minimum decision height, set to 3 degrees. So if we're not down by the touchdown zone lights, obviously we need to go around, which is fine. We can also do a circling approach, that is also possible. We'll see how we go on. Josh, how we doing? So we'll leave that, so that'll be the next chart that we need to follow anyway. Oh, there's an aircraft literally 2,000 feet below us, which is the streams that we can see. Not quite got a visual of the well, actually I don't know actually that I might be able to see it now. Let's have a look. Just slip through the cloud, I think. So we've just gone Lottie, let's just do a quick fuel check at Lottie. So we need 7.1 tonnes and we've got 7.8, so that's all good. We've also got another company message. Chances are the ATC code being accepted. And then we're a little bit further into the flight, we should get our landing stand number. Go from there. So we've been live 1 hour 38 minutes. Not bad, to be fair. And we've 19:36 will be our landing time. So we've got another 2 hours or so. Though we seem to be progressing quite well actually, but it is a bit of a long slog from once you get over the Bay of Biscay. It's a bit of a long slog. Out over Portugal, to be honest. We'll see how we get on. So the level at 2,000 is less than below us at 2,000 feet. We can just get a visual look at another aircraft just in front of us. Just see his trail there. Like I say guys, any further questions feel free to ask. I don't know what everyone thinks about where to put this new this new ECAM and stuff. I'm not 100% sure at the minute. Obviously until this throttle mount arrives we're going to be a little bit limited. Chances are what we'll do is we'll move the EFIS and the FCU across further. That's probably what we'll end up doing, I guess. And then pop it on this end here. But we'll see how we proceed with that. Hey Charlie, how are you doing? Lorenzo, how we doing? So then, yeah, pretty mundane stuff now, to be fair, until we start our descent really. What we'll probably do is we'll just get through this Portuguese airspace. Once we're through that, we'll then proceed a little bit further. And I'll disappear from actually sitting here, and then we'll be pretty much ready for our descent into Madeira. Obviously, if any of you want me to change the daylight, I can do that if you wish. Even things that messes all the times up. Yeah, we can do that if you wish for me to do that. We got you. Sod's law, this happens every time we do a long flight. So we've got hydraulic pressure problem, low air pressure, hydraulic yellow reservoir, low air pressure. If fluctuates, PT off, yellow engine pump off. Okay. So we've got low pressure here. So PTU, let's disable that and engine 2 and elect pump off. See how we do that. Hopefully the other system will take over from that. So what's that going to give us? That's going to give us a flight control issue. One thing we can do to overcome that is to enable the elect. Let's see how that goes. That's his fault there. Interesting. I would have thought by having the elect one on. Let's see if we can. Hopefully that will fix it. May not, but it may fix it. Hydraulic. So yeah, back to 3000 blue. So it looks like the PTU's failed on us. No, I can say that. Yeah, it looks like the PTU had failed, but then we're still getting low pump pressure. It's a little bit strange, but then we're still at 3000 psi here. Let's just clear that a second. Just keep an eye on that. So we've disabled the PTU, so we can't transfer any hydraulic fluid between them. So yeah, it's an electric, isn't it? Interesting. One thing we could do is have a quick look at the. So we'll just go with the eco actions for a minute. Have a quick look to see if there's a way to overcome that. Maybe I have to just reset it. So if we go into the pilot brief. Documents, IAEQRH. So then we have hydraulic, which is 23. It's a shame that we don't get some point. hydraulic. So we've got a yellow system fault. Hydraulic yellow engine tube, low pressure. Yellow system. It's blue though, let's go back one page. Interesting. Yellow system, low pressure somewhere, is that the one? Engine 2, well, it's an engine pump though, isn't it? It's not a 83.1. Been there a long time. One thing we could do quickly actually is to have a quick look on here. I think whereabouts it's located in the sim. What we'll do is we'll try and have a quick look for it. So guys, we'll see how we get on with this. Just trying to see what's going on with the actual pumps. So it's a hydraulic issue that we've got. What we could do is just try and reset the pump. So engine to hydraulic pump. Just trying to see hydraulic. Here we go. Green ETU. Supply one, drop to green. Just having a quick look down this whole system. So what we'll do is we'll just we'll pull both of these for the time being. Let them. We'll just try and reset the fault. See if that sorts itself out. It may do, it may not. They're still maintaining 3000 psi at the moment. We'll see how we get on with that. Maybe we still have a fault with it. So I would have thought we would be able to pop the elect pump on to then overpower the other hydraulics, but who knows. Still wants to play up. So in which case, if we do have a hydraulics failure on the yellow system, we'll have to see what's going to be impacted. So we're still maintaining pressure, that's what I don't understand. We've got no hydraulic leak, the reservoir's still full. But it's still dinging, saying there's a fault. So let's just turn that off. And we're still outputting 3001. Engine 2 pump yellow on. So we'll see how that goes. There's no other inoperative systems now, so we don't have any flight control issues or anything. So we'll go from there. See how we get on. Not had a failure on here in ages, to be fair. long time since we've had a failure. So, not going to be too long now before we move over to Porto Control, or Porto Approach. We'll have a quick listen and see what's going on. Yes, we're using that similar now though. I'll do it anyway, you're okay. Like I say, we'll see how we get on with everything. So we've got no other system faults. We've got to apply for choice, make sure that's all okay. So it's the elevator that
FedEx
uses
124
the
heavy descent 4000 feet, unit 1016.
1016, 4000, FedEx 124 heavy.
FedEx 124 heavy via Atmos, clear Dallas approach, runway 17.
After enough clear, let's put the
Hey everyone, how are we doing, mate? Sorry I didn't see that you'd popped a message in. Yeah, I hope you're well, mate. Yeah, well, good, thank you. We're just doing a little flight over to Madeira and see what challenges that brings us this evening. Like I said, we're just over, well, we're technically in Spain at the minute. We're about to sort of go over to Portugal in a good few minutes. Once we get over Portuguese airspace and get out the other side, so at Osmov, it's going about 130 miles. We will just leave it for a little, about 20 minutes or so, just to do a few bits around the house, and then we can then focus on starting our descent. Must be early in the morning for you, one then. Must be very early in the morning. So I don't know if 6:30 in the morning, is it? Oh, of course, yeah. You're heading to summer of your end, aren't you? So. Excuse me. So you probably missed this one, but I don't know if you noticed, Wing released some more products last night about 2 o'clock in the morning UK time. They released the ECAM and the landing gear panel, the auto brake and basically this whole section of the corona and everything is. And we have purchased that, so hopefully that will be with us in the next few days. We'll have a look at that to see how that's progressing. Something else that I haven't told anyone on the channel is we'd already pre-ordered this months ago, to be fair, the wing throttle with the flaps and spoilers, and we've also ordered a mount for them as well. Unfortunately the mount's not available yet, and the wing can't give me an ETA of when that will be out, but hopefully it will be out fairly sharpish. So we're not sure exactly how we're going to mount all this to start with, but we'll cross that bridge when it arrives. But yeah, I thought you should probably know better because you've been following us a little while. And on the overhead talk, no major updates with the overhead. The nearest date I've been given the 20th of was it the 20th of November, sorry. Like I say, progressing nicely now. Yeah, we're doing alright, Yeah, but it's nice being in summer this time of year, to be fair. Shame it's not here, it's literally peeing down my rain. It has been all day. Yeah, Tom, how are you doing? You've got the constant clicking noise where you have the analog dials. How do you mean? I can't hear any clicking. Nothing in mind. Yeah, it's getting there, everyone. It's getting there, mate. Shouldn't be too much of an issue. To be quite honest, it should be fairly straightforward. There we go. So yeah, I'll be back in a few minutes, guys. We've just been told that we're not in, well, we're not going to be in their airspace. So that's no major issue for us. But yeah, I've not heard this clicking noise, to be fair. I don't know what you guys have, what everyone else can hear, but I can't personally hear it. guys, how are we all doing? Sorry, let me just catch up on some of the concepts. So I'm still using Discord. Yes, I'm Patrick. If I'm honest, I haven't really been on it very much. I did see your message and I did reply to you yesterday. But yeah, I've not really been on it that much, if I'm honest. So I'll have to have a look at that. So I've not noticed any clicking, to be honest. Unless, is it just on the MCD, on the AFB, sorry? Well, that's causing that issue. So then, unfortunately, we're not going to be going into Porto's airspace. I thought we were, but turns out that's not the case. We're obviously too high for them. Yeah, so we're just pretty much about to go back over the ocean and then pretty much now out to Madeira. Like I say, guys, we've got some of the wingman products on the way. We're just going to have a quick look at that now, actually. See how we get on. So we'll have a quick look at wing. Don't know what you guys can see, or we can see some of the stuff. So the overhead that we've ordered, I don't know if you can see it from here, but just quickly show you this overhead that we've ordered for those of you that are interested. So this is the item we've ordered. It's a little bit more expensive now than it was, so I don't know what you guys can see, probably not very well actually. So yeah, this is the overhead that's been ordered. I don't know, make sure we can see that. So it's got all the whole AP fire buttons, and it's a full panel really, but it looks pretty neat. 2 custom switches which we've had custom engraved, and one will be for the electric pump and one will be for the isolation valve. We're going to have a quick look at wing for you. I'm just going to have a quick look just to see if there's any progress on my order from yesterday. There probably isn't realistically, but you never know. It depends how quickly we got in there amongst everyone else. So when I looked yesterday, it was still available actually. Okay, so we're in the UK store. Bear with me. Just switch stores to global shipping, and then. So yeah, if you want to purchase the Wing AGP, you can do. It's $116, which is less than £100. So it is cheaper at the minute while you do it like this. I presume because they're making batch orders. But yeah, it's certainly worthwhile. Like I said, I was going to have a quick look just to see about my order, see if there's any progress. I very much doubt there is, because obviously it's already been completed. But we'll have a quick look just to see if that order has been processed at all. When I looked yesterday, there wasn't much showing on there. So just says shipping in progress at the moment. Like I say, it came to. So the shipping cost was quite expensive. But also we don't pay any import duty into the UK because it's less than £139 in total. I think in total, including shipping, it was £189, but the actual product price was about £137. So a little bit expensive on the fuel bits. One thing we will have a quick look at though is just have a quick look at the sim settings on here, because I bet you if I look in the cabin right now, it's going to be like really, really bright. So let's just open the door real quick. Yeah, exactly. It's going to be really, really bright. So what I normally tend to do is to just put the dim the cabin lights to like 25% for now during the night. Also, you've got all your GSX options on here as well. Controls. So there's some new options on here as well. Yeah, whereabouts is this setting that you're on about anyway? I was just trying to have a look at this. So what we'll probably do is, I quite like all the radio altimeter call outs. But like I say, feel free to ACP classic. Trying to work out what that actually changes. I can't see anything about the noise in here. I don't know whereabouts you've seen it, but I can't see it. So if you let me know what I'd say, is it to do with the standby instruments maybe? Or, I don't mind the digital standby instruments, to be fair. Ah, cool. There we go. I quite like the old fashioned gauges, to be fair, but we can have whichever. I've never even heard that clicking, so I don't know how you've heard it, but yeah, Patrick, I do use Discord still, mate. I haven't been on it very much, if I'm honest. Yeah, Stephen, how are we doing? So yeah, there we go. Currently working through the VATSIM course. Yeah, there is, mate. Yeah, feel free to have a look at it. Oh, you just sent me a message back. Cool, I'll have a look, mate. So I don't have it open particularly on flight sim because I run enough software in the background as it is. But yeah, we can have a look on there. And to be fair, I don't tend to have notifications switched on either because I get like tons and tons of notifications. So right, what do you want me to help you set up, Patrick? Pop it in the YouTube chat, mate. What do you want help with? Is it with VATSIM directly? So what you need to do first is, if it's VATSIM you're after, you need to go onto the website, you need to join. So you just go onto, if you're, depends where you're based, so we have VATSIM UK. So just type VATSIM, you can join up there, and then you need to install a program called vPilot. Once you install that program, you need to log in using the credentials you've been given. I believe you have to also have oh, bandwidth's too low, that's not good. I don't understand how my bandwidth can be that low. I think there's an issue with the antenna on my computer, to be honest. Yes, once you've downloaded vPilot, you log in using the login details that VATSIM provides you, and you go from there really. So let's have a look at MCU menu, see if there's no problem message, I don't think. Just for about our stand information, not at the moment. Hopefully we'll get that a little bit later on. So we're probably about 634 miles to Rome. Okay, it's quite a long way out now, but we're pretty much at the max speed that we can fly at this altitude. You can just see the touchdown line, the extended centre line coming in there, 240 miles away. We've got another 300 for just short of 500, yeah, about 500 miles before our top of descent. I don't know why I even look at that, because I could just look on the fuel prediction and it tells you. Top of descent page. Oh, sorry, performance. So top of descent is in 498 miles.
It's laid off here from YouTube.
You shouldn't have any issues, Leonardo, to just trying to work out how to, just trying to think. I don't think there's anything you need to link it to flights in 2024 from memory. So if you've downloaded vPilot, you should be, it should work. I'm just going to have a quick look for you, because I'm not, if I'm honest, it's that long since I've installed vPilot. One thing you do need to make sure you do is turn all your traffic off, so you need to make sure traffic's off. So yeah, basically what you need to do then, you don't need to do anything really. So what you need to do, Leonardo, is you need to go into the sim, load just a normal free flight at whatever airport you want to choose. Typically I'd normally try and do one that's got some ATC coverage, so let's say Gatwick, for example, there's generally someone on there. So if you spawned in at Gatwick, make sure you don't spawn on the runway, obviously. Spawn on a stand there. Make sure all your multiplayer and traffic is switched off in the sim settings. And then what you need to do is, in the vPilot program, you need to click connect, log in with your details, and then you should be all connected. I don't think there's a way, there's not anything specific you need to do to link it. It should link it all itself. Hopefully that's a little bit more helpful. Do you use a headset for that or something like I have both, to be fair. So I have my headset which has all the ATC stuff through it. After a while I do tend to take it off a little bit. And then we've got a desk mic which I don't think you can quite see, it's just here. It's literally just off camera view. So yeah, we have a one of the quadcast microphones. Reason being, it's just a little bit better for streaming, and it's just a little bit nicer as well. Because all the external sound we have played externally as well, and then the only thing we have to do with the headset is the ATC. Obviously, because we're on Unicom, there's not much going on at the minute. There's not a lot of traffic out this direction either. It's a couple of craft about, and that's about it really. So our new landing time, we should be on the ground at 19:35. What's the time now? It's got about 1 hour 30 minutes left to fly. Once we get to the next waypoint, we'll have a look at how much fuel we should have. We'll just have a look at one now actually. That's small, which is what we're just past 5.7 tons and we're at 6.4, so we're good in that respect. I've moved from Xbox to PC, set to form of gaming, to get everything set up. Yeah, it's a lot better. You'll notice that going from Xbox to PC, it's like 100 times better. You can get so many add-ons as well. Obviously, this is the Fenix add-on, and it is worth every penny. It's about £70 UK pounds, but it's certainly worth it, mate. It really is. And also, you get all three. Yeah, so the VATSIM exam wasn't actually a thing when I first joined. But yeah, it's a fairly straightforward exam as long as you have a read through the content. And cool, you got the 320. Have you got the expansion pack as well? It's certainly worth getting the expansion pack. But if you're just getting used to it, then as you notice, I very rarely fly the 320 anymore. It's alright, Patrick, I'm trying to reply to you, mate, on there as well. Just trying to answer a couple of questions. So, 13 so just paid the $49.99. Yeah, so I think it's $79.99 for the expansion with the base pack. But to be honest with you, Tom, if you might as well wait until the Neo comes out, because there's going to be an extra payment for the Neo anyway. Because that will give you a little bit of a different experience as well. So I would personally say wait until the Neo comes out. And to be honest, it shouldn't be much longer. Don't ask me when it's going to come out, but I wouldn't think it'll be much longer before it does come out. But to be honest, it's good just to get used to one type of plane. I absolutely love the 319. I have a bit of a obsession with it, to be honest. I don't really know why. But, yeah, there is. If you any point, it's really a shame that we don't have like synchronized cockpits anymore. So you used to be able to play. Well, there is like add-ons that you can get where you can basically fly with someone else. And it would be really nice if we can have that like dual cockpit multiplayer option. I think that would be something really, really neat. If a developer could come out with something like that, that'd be amazing. Especially if it worked natively with like Phoenix or something as well, it'd be a lot better. It's certainly something we used to have, and it used to be a bit hit and miss, to be honest, but it was pretty cool. Yeah, if you got any questions, mate, feel free to ask. I'll try and explain. I've got a couple of, to be honest, there's a lot better videos out there than what I've done about learning all the tutorials, but A330 pilot, is that his name? No, A330 driver, he does some really, really good content for tutorials, and he's also a real world pilot, so he can give you a lot of explanations as well. They're a bit lengthy, the videos, but they're quite a good nighttime read. Yeah, EasyJet pilot's really good as well. I can't think what his name is now. Oh my lord. I did know his name. It's gone. But yeah, he's really, really good. Yeah, it's one of the things I would highly recommend. So I can't say so much about the thrust levers. I've seen a lot of reviews about the thrust levers and they're really good. I've got the Honey Bravo throttle, which is a little bit more expensive. Personally, I wouldn't waste your money on Thrustmaster. I've owned Thrustmaster and they're very, very cheap and tacky, and they don't last very long at all before things go wrong with them. The side stick I've had, well, coming up to a year now. I've had the side stick and it's still as good as new. It's really good. It has like built-in vibration as well, so when you're like bringing your spoilers out, you get a good sense of the vibration from the spoilers as well. And obviously the throttle we have ordered as well, so hopefully I'll be able to give you a bit more of an in-depth review, but there's plenty of reviews about the throttle. There just is quite a long wait to actually get the throttles, that's the only problem. But no, the side stick, it's definitely worth buying. Are you based in the UK? If you're based in the UK, which I presume you actually put it in pounds, check out the Wing UK store, because you don't pay any shipping that way either. I'll have a look, see if they have it in stock. It's about £70, I think, the side stickers. And if I'm honest, if you're going to fly the Airbus regularly, I would highly recommend the MCDU. The FCU is useful. It is useful. I wouldn't say it's like essential, because you can still do it on the wheel. It does change your experience though massively. But obviously it depends how much money you've got, depends how much room you've got as well. But yeah, the HOTAS is really good as well. But yeah, I know what you mean. HOTAS has been about for a while. I'll have a quick look on Wing's website for you. See what they've got in stock, because that's the only problem with Wing is you kind of have to do they all just plug in through USB hub? Yes, they do. So I would recommend getting a powered USB hub. That would be my suggestion. So I only had one USB hub and I now have two, but that's just because of the amount of kit that we've got on it now. Obviously I have a full like cockpit setup, as you can probably see. It's harder to see, isn't it, because it's dark in it, but yeah, I have a full cockpit setup, which, to be honest, it makes things a lot easier for mounting. It can be a little bit of a pain for mounting stuff. You kind of have to play about with it a little bit. I spent hours and hours doing this, but anyway, let's have a quick look at the Wing UK store and see what they've got in stock for you. So they've not got the left one in stock, but having said that, oh, so it's 84. It's actually gone up a little bit in price sometime. That was the thing you'll notice with Wing. The longer the product's out, the more the price increases, and I guess that's because they're not making it in bulk, which is the reason with the pre-orders. If you get on top of the pre-orders, like I've just paid like what, £127 for the ECAM and the new panel. Granted, the shipping's a little bit more, but you still pay less because the new product's 160 UK pounds. And then the other one's £56, so it's around similar prices, I suppose, but you get a cheaper unit price. But yeah, so the left joystick, depends if you want the left joystick or a right joystick. Typically, most people tend to fly on the left-hand seat, so the left joystick's fine. That's $84.77, and it's available on the 29th of November. You can pre-order it, and the beauty of Wing when you pre-order is you don't have to pay there and then. If you click pre-order, it will send you an email asking for payment, basically when it's around to be dispatched, and they give you 24 hours to pay it, and obviously if you don't, then they cancel the order. But it's quite a neat thing to do that, actually, because like I've got my throttle on order as well. So the throttle is currently stating it will be the 30th of December. That's what it stated when I ordered it, to be honest with you. And obviously things like, depends on if you're a desktop simmer, some people may need a proper joystick mount. Oh, they've actually got some days on it now. Wow. That's still not the right one though, I think. Oh, there you go. Over 45 days now for pre-order for the for the throttle mount. The 24th of December for the joystick one. So I didn't have an ETA on it yesterday, but that's probably because I said what's the ETA. So what we're doing? Oh, Gatwick to Marrakesh. Oh, nice one. That's yeah, no worries, mate. That's fine. Yeah, that should be a nice little flight. That. I have mine on the right, typically. Okay, so it's in stock actually. Then, if you want the one on the right, and yeah, the Ursa Minor 32. That's the one. But no, it is really good. Like so having had a Thrustmaster, the feel you get from it is completely different, and it's because it's very dampened as well. Whereas the Thrustmaster is very springy in how it's how it flies. But no, it's really, it feels really good. It's hard to notice on here at the minute, but we're trying to get another camera at some point so we get some better views for you guys. That is the onward plan. Just trying to get some slightly better views for you guys. Hey Wilton, how we doing? So thank you very much for all the likes and follows. We've got nearly just short of 600 likes, 200 views, and we've got a few people obviously on YouTube as well. For some reason it's not showing how many people are actually online on YouTube and watching. But, yeah, cheers mate, thanks for this setup. Yeah, it's not a bad setup, to be fair. I got lucky though. That's one thing I will say, I got very lucky with this setup. So the Next Level Racing, Flight Stand Pro and Flight Seat Pro I actually got from a chap. I had to drive quite a way to go and get it. I had to drive about 5 or 6 hours to go and get it down in Portsmouth. It was about an 8-hour round trip I think it was in total. But I paid something like £350 for that. And obviously these in retail are over £1,000, just over £1,000. So got very lucky with that. And the same with the monitor stand. Let me get my words out properly. The monitor stand is pretty neat as well. So that isn't actually from Next Level Racing. That is from, I'm trying to think what the company's called now, but they mostly deal with like racing, like car racing, which is the reason why the overhead's there. It's not actually particularly designed for an overhead for flight simulator, but it still works exactly the same. Oh, is that where you are in Portsmouth? That's a nice one there. Small world. Yeah, that's where my thing of. So I'm based up sort of Midlands / on the east side, so in Lincolnshire. That's where we're based. Yes, we are adding more to it, mate. We have got an overhead panel that is on its way from Thailand at some point in the next couple of months when it eventually turns up. So yeah, we have got an overhead that's from Java Simulator, so that is now on its way and paid for. We also have, I've reserved the throttle, so obviously you can see we've got these throttles here, which they are really good throttles from the Honey Bravo, but they just don't give quite the same realism. And obviously Wing then all works in one like seamless app, rather than having to have Mobiflight and stuff run in the background. That's the hopeful plan going forwards. We won't need to use Mobiflight anymore. On top of that, we've also just ordered the new eCam panel from Wing and the landing gear levers and auto brake and all that sort of panel. And that leaves us with not many panels left to buy really, so the only thing realistic that I want to buy after that is the radio control panel, probably the audio panel, because we do use that quite a lot. If they bring out the weather radar, wonderful. If they don't, but we definitely want the transponder and the weather radar. That's the plan. We're only going to have one side. I don't think we'll have a dual setup because there's no real reason for me needing an extra MCDU when it's just myself that flies. But yeah, no, it's all coming together nicely, slowly but surely. How far are we now off our still about 300 miles or so. But we're making good progress, to be fair. It's not been too long for on the ground. So hopefully we can get a nice bit of a visual approach. We'll see how the visibility is looking though. Failing that, we'll go from there. But no, we are excited to receive all the new products. We'll do some reviews on all of them. I appreciate there's going to be lots of reviews out there for the eCam and stuff because people have been given promotional deals. But we've paid for all our products. All the products that we have on the channel are all paid for out of our own money. We've had no help with any of them. Like I say, if anyone's got any other questions, feel free to ask. I'll try and answer them the best I can. One thing I might do is, for the time being, I'm going to just turn the lighting on in here. Then you guys can probably see a little bit better as well. It's always a bit of a night. Yeah, the setup's pretty cool to be fair. I keep meaning to move this back actually. Let's see how we get on with this. I used to have it really tall and then it's flowed short. Come a little bit less tall. Just trying to get it to keep everything in the shot. It's a difficult one because trying to get everything into the shot as well can be a little bit tricky, especially when you get me sat there as well. It's a little bit challenging. So guys, I'm just going to grab a drink and then we'll see how we get on. So guys, you can give us a like and subscribe and also sign up to our YouTube as well. That would be much appreciated. So guys, let's see how this setup goes. It's not too bad to be fair. No, it's to come slightly to the left. I'm just trying to get this camera in the right place. It's always difficult to try and get it in the perfect place to be fair. So with it being such a wide angled lens as well, it does make it quite challenging. It's probably the best we're going to get angle wise for now. Hey from how doing? Airport, morning Tim, how are we doing? So we can finally see the top of the sun column. So I'm trying to have about 3 conversations at once. But yeah, certainly are going to add more to the sim going forward, though we're running out of things really to add, to be quite honest. So once we get to Vabam and 138 miles, I just need to do another quick fuel check, make sure it's okay. So we should have 4.1 tonnes. So I imagine we'll be in on it. Once we get a little bit lower to the ground, obviously then we'll get the strobes on as well. There's not much to see over this side. Just losing the light now. Going into darkness very shortly. In which case I'll increase the bright to the PFD because I don't know what you guys think. I was finding it's a little bit dark. Definitely time we can. The lighting's certainly a lot better in this though, since they've updated it. I love it a lot better. I would say we could have a little walk, so we're on AP2. I don't know if it still disconnects, but we'll see. Can you not stand up? Ah, they've changed it. There we go. You used to be able to walk in. I bet they've changed that to prevent people losing control. So we'll have a good look at the hydraulic system as well. So I don't know if you guys saw it, we did have a failure earlier for the hydraulic yellow pump. So what we've done to rectify that, so that the yellow pump is down. So the way we've basically overcome that, even though it says there's a fault on it, we've turned the engine 2 hydraulic pump off, but we've enabled the electric pump, which then gives us enough PSI, so that gives us 3000 PSI still, even though that pump's not working. The only other thing we could do as well, we could also turn off the PTU, which will help prevent any pressure going into the other systems, but to be honest we probably could do with the transfer of that still, even though it says there is a fault with it. I'm a bit dubious about it because it seems to still be working from what I can see on here. I did try and have a quick look in the manual. So it shows here, so the green pump with the reservoir, not full on the green reservoir, but it's to be expected really. But yeah, if we turn the elect pump off, you'll see very shortly that we're going to lose pressure really quick. So that elect pump then gives us that pressure, because the problem with that is it's going to give us flight control problems. So it's going to, spoilers 2 and 4 aren't going to work, Cat 3 duals are not, reverser number 2 is not going to work, the yaw damper is not going to work. So there's quite a lot of issues with that. So the elect pump's obviously providing that extra power for the time being. As you'll see, it'll all disappear, and everything is all sorted. We'll just double check to make sure we've got pressure again, which we do, back to 3000 psi, and we'll go from there. So in about 240 miles we'll be starting our descent. We'll probably start the descent a little bit earlier, to be honest, because once we're into the Lindro, we'll have a quick look at the restrictions on the routing. But we couldn't start our descent a little bit earlier, to be honest. So I'll have a quick look at the charts to see. So we need to be above 4,000 feet from Madeira to MA534. So what we could probably do is go to here. Yeah, 250 knots at 6,000 is the restriction I'm going to put in there. Yeah, constraint is plus 4,000. We'll insert that onto this side. Like I say, it may mean that we actually started something a little bit earlier. So at Lindro, I think we were to be flight level 140, I would say. Just quickly change that. So Lindro, so 250, 140. Just wait for this to catch up. It's not actually done what we wanted it to. So 536, we said that we wanted to be at 6,000 feet. So that should hopefully calculate some of these points. Hey, Choco, how we doing, mate? Nice to see you back again. So the next restriction after that is 3,000 at Pilum. So we can pop that in there. So 230 knots. So it says we need to be above 3,000. What we'll do is we'll go to 3,000, and that'll make our step change a little bit easier. And then from there, from Pilum, it's pretty much a straight in approach. The RMP run me 2-3, so this will give us our altitudes and our minimum. So what we need to do is we need to prepare everything now. So we need to have a look at the latest weather and put all the latest figures in. So 2,000 feet at M408, ME408. Looks like it'll be a nice study descent, really. So, our decision height, RMP. So, depends if you want to do a visual. We'll have a look and see what the visual go around the altitude. Oh, sorry. Approach 2-3. So, our. Oh, actually, still not got the transition level 50. RMP visual approach 2-3. .5 wind limitations. Okay, so we'll go with the RMP approach and just the usual minimums and go from that. So we're going to go with the 490 feet. So we head over to the performance page. Well, actually, let's get the latest weather first before we get the performance in. So let's get the what weather, and we are putting in LPMA into weather request. Identify LPMA METAR. Yes, 7. What we'll do now is we'll be a bit naughty on this side as we'll load this up. Now what we can do this side, you see, is we can see the weather on this other side. So we know the wind is variable at 2 knots. Visibility is good of 10,000 kilometres or more. Scattered 1,600 feet. 21 QNH 1018. So in the performance page, we'll go to destination and approach 1018. The current temperature is 21 degrees Celsius. The wind is variable. I don't know if it lets you put in a variable. Variable at 2 knots. No, it doesn't. So we'll go with the last one, which was 020 at 2 knots. Transition level 5,500 feet, and the barrel ref we said was 480, did we say? Or 90. So 490 in the barrel box. That gives us a landing speed of 127. We're actually going to give ourselves 2 knots. We're going to do 129. A landing speed of 122. That is everything all done, ready for our approach. Like I say, we're going to go upgrade medium, so we can prime that already, so it's one less thing to worry about. Let me just see if we've got any more notifications on. So what we got, another 160 or so, just over 160 until we stop our descent. Like I say, we're losing light rapidly, really. Can't really see a great deal from it. Hey David, how we doing, mate? Okay, go for it, mate. Got a question, feel free to ask. What's your question, Estonia, mate? I'll try and answer it. So I'm just trying to see what I'm talking about on Discord. So guys, like I say, thank you for joining us today. It's been a nice little flight actually. It's gone reasonably quickly. Well, I say it's gone reasonably quick. We've got like another hour still. Well, just under an hour, about 58 minutes till we're on the ground. But obviously, that should pass by a little bit quicker with the fact that we're seeding straight across. What is your question, Estonia, mate? I'll try and answer it. I'm guessing it's going to be a long one. That's what we got. The lighting's pretty good on these though. I must admit. They're pretty neat. I don't know why we started flying British Airways, but I do like it. One thing we could do actually is see a little bit more of what the wing lights on actually. There you go, you can see a little bit better. How do I make a flight plan? If I'm flying out Cessna. Okay, so there's a few ways you can make a flight plan. Obviously, you can do it through Flight Sim 2024. I personally don't have much experience with that. Oh, hang on, I'll wait until you come back. Let me know when you're back, mate, and I'll try to explain what we use. So we use Navigraph is the short line of it. So for all of our charts are all done through Navigraph, and all the routing's done through SimBrief. But no, we've been streaming for what, 3 hours now? It's pretty good going. Probably the longest stream we've done actually on TikTok, to be fair. We've done longer on YouTube, on the longest one. Very dark outside. Let's have a look at the other side. There we go. A little better. I'm trying to do about 3 conversations on YouTube, TikTok, and also Discord as well. I do have Twitch, if I'm honest, but I've had quite a few issues, mate, with it just not playing properly. I don't know why. Basically, I'll stream on here on 3 platforms and you'll just get a black screen on Twitch, and I can't work out the reason why, because when I look at it it's fine, and then when people look at it it's just a black screen. So yeah, I don't know why it's doing it, which is the reason why we're not streaming on Twitch, and to be honest, like, it doesn't really make much difference which way we do. So I'm back. I do flight plans and SimBrief. How do I put that over that sim? So for VFR flying, I'm not 100% sure, if I'm honest, Estonia. What you should be able to do is, when you're in SimBrief, there's an option that says pre-file. On that pre-file, it will say VATSIM, and then basically move the flight plan over onto VATSIM for you. But with VFR, if I'm honest, I'm not 100% sure. I'm not the best at VFR flying. So we've got about 160 miles to go. We could start a steady descent already, to be fair. 22,500. So 700 feet a minute, we can have a nice steady descent, or we can bring that back to 7. Just a nice steady descent will do us. Yeah, no worries, mate, that's fine. So you're, yeah, no worries, yeah, no problem, Tom, for your help. How do I put it? So in SimBrief, there is an option down there when you insert your flight plan. There is a call sign option. In fairness, if you go into when it pre-files into VATSIM, you can just select it in the when you go to pre-file it. There is an option to select it there, and obviously you just need to make sure it matches with vPilot. To be fair, it tells you now if it's not matched with vPilot. I'm amazed that we've not had our stand information, if I'm honest. Maybe there's a reason for that. Maybe it doesn't give much stand information. There's no stand information yet. We'll see how we go. Maybe a little bit later on in the flight. But anyway, we've started our descent. We're on a nice steady descent. Only 700 feet per minute. We could just go managed, to be fair. Is it open descent then? No, managed. Problem with that though is you proper nosedive here, whereas this is going to be a nice steady descent that you're not really going to notice much. I don't know if anyone noticed anything about the spoilers as well. So the spoilers are quite interesting in the Airbus. So they're not directly controlled by you. So if I want full spoilers, at the minute that will not give full spoilers. It's giving them first 2 wing bits, but it's not bringing the rest of them out. And the reason for that is just because the computer basically says no, I don't need the spoilers to keep at that speed, so I'll not deploy them. So in case of a go around, let's have a look at the go around procedure. So, in case of a missed approach go around, we climb to 3,000 feet and out to Munich. So Munich is out here. So it's a left hand turn 192 degrees to Munich. Via MA407. There we are. Munich. To Munich via this route here. To Munich. And then perform another approach, so then we basically will make a left turn for another approach. So VBAM, so we're still above our maximum fuel. And here we go. Like I said, it's going to be a little bit on the dark side as we approach into here. Guessing things are still working with TikTok. Just not seeing them come on it really. Let's see if he's. Getting a bit on the tired side now. But there we go, so we're not a million miles from what we... So 160 miles until we're at our first waypoint. So we've got 250 left to run. We could increase our speed a touch actually. It's not. I thought it would impact the speed a little bit with this descent, but it's not impacting it at all, to be honest. So Indro 1230. And actually for about 500 feet per minute at the minute. So one thing we need to do is get the cockpit nice and dark. So way of doing that, so we'll get this all up and running. See our hydraulics are in a state of disrepair, but just turn the brightness down a touch. Just going to turn the brightness down a touch on the screens here. See this one. One good cool thing with the wing is you can actually dim it down in here as well. Right, Lewis, how we doing, mate? So yeah, let's get the pop nice and dark. Get the car on. Stays nice and bright as well. It's going to be a little while before we get on the ground. I say that, well, we've got about half an hour left. We have 236 miles left to run. About 3.6 tonnes of fuel left, so we're actually not using as much fuel as we anticipated using. Okay, guys, hopefully I'll get a little bit more interesting for you shortly. So we could have terrain on, well, to be fair, we will have terrain activated. As you can see, we're just out in the open sea at the minute. There's not a lot out here. Hopefully we don't need to divert, because if we do, that is another hour flight across to Tenerife. We can have about 2 goes at landing, and then we can go from there, to be honest. So we're flying the RNAV approach as well, which obviously isn't an ILS approach, but see, there we go. Unfortunately no ATC online at the moment. So we're going to continue our descent further. So at Lindro we want to be at 14,000 feet. Like I say, just so we're pretty much in straight for the approach. So it's not that long from that first waypoint. We go over Belair, yeah, which is an island just on the north side of Madeira. If we do need to, we could potentially use that airport for landing in an emergency, but it doesn't have any facilities. It's a airbase, so Madeira itself, I don't think it has any other airports. So just having a quick look at just to see if there's any other airports, which I don't think there is, if I'm honest. It's just literally the south side. Quite an interesting one really, because the road actually goes underneath the runway, which makes it look quite pretty on approach. Hey Palpy, how we doing? So I'm going to see if just trying to answer a few questions on Discord as well. So we're just keeping an eye on that speed as well, so we don't want the speed to go over. So we're actually exceeding the speed a touch, so the limit actually increases as you descend with altitude. Obviously that will allow us to get down on the ground a little bit earlier. Let's say in check speed mode, but knocked a minute off at the minute. So the quicker we go in, the better the approach. Well, not the better the approach, the quicker we'll be on the ground. So once we get to 14,000 feet, we'll get the seatbelt signs on, get the cabin secure for landing, and hopefully land on the tarmac is the plan. So I'm going to select strobes on just to make ourselves nice and visible. There's not much out here anyway, so it's not going to upset anyone particularly. We won't really see the strobes as such at the minute. Until we start hitting some cloud, then you'll start seeing the strobes. So you can see that. So basically we've got all the charts in and ready. Just waiting to load a second. This tablet's been a little bit slow tonight. I'm not exactly sure why, but so this is in for the visual approach, but do not deviate to the right. So from MA562 on to V230. So maximum safe altitude is 6,000 feet. So obviously if anything happens, we'll be making a left-hand turn over the sea. and then we could plan to land at this island that's just off the coast as well. There's always an option. I'll have a quick look for the airport code actually. LPPS. So in our secondary plan, what we'll do is we'll go to it. So we're just in the secondary plan at the minute. Something's in there, we need to do a direct to it. This island should just fly to the west of. So they're very, very small island. Ironically, it has a longer runway than where we're landing now. I've looked if there's any aircraft on the ground as well. It's always a good thing to just double check. So nothing we can see at the minute. We can expect to stand probably Alpha 06, something like that. See how we're doing for stands. So if we look on here, we can actually see all the reference charts as well. So parking stands and coordinates. So yeah, probably anywhere between Alpha 6 and Alpha 10 really. Doesn't really matter where they put us. So we can also have a look at the reference documents as well, so we can get an idea of what we'll see for runway 23. So this is a visual picture of 23. Obviously we've got some terrain on the right side. Execute all turns over C, 3-degree patties. This runway has a displaced threshold resulting in usable runway of 18408 feet or 2,481 metres. See, we'll have a look at the overview and the weather. Madeira is located on the southwestern side of Madeira Island. It is a volcanic Atlantic Moroccan coastline. It's mountainous and approximately 30 kilometres long and 12 kilometres wide. The airport is on a small plateau and a significant portion of the runway ends on concrete piers. Immediately to the north-east, a man-made structure, 11,000 steep terrain on the western side. Wind variations and turbulence and low severe altitude wind shear may be accounted on approach. Circling the land is not authorised on the northwesterly runway, which is the one we're flying into. Special procedures and operational limits are as follows. So we'll go from there. So we'll go back to the main start charts. Approach 2-3. That's what we've got planned. So 20,000 feet now. Still got no visual at the moment. We're going to get a visual for a little while though, to be quite honest with you. So what we can do is we can so we start at the centre. This is the bonus of going somewhere quite remote, to be fair, so you can pretty much fly wherever you want. So we're flying at 100, it's 72. So 146 miles. We could also increase our speed a touch as well. That way we decrease the amount of time as well. touch. It also accelerates the rate of descent a touch. Yeah, Craig, how we doing? There we go, so we've got the island coming into view now. We've got the initial island we're going to fly westerly off, which is the island. We'll get the cabin secure very shortly as well. So nice and prepared for landing. We'll have a good look at the weather as well, make sure there's no changes to the weather we're aware of. So we can cheat by then, just jump into the right side of it. So the latest weather is we're very at 4 knots now. Also routing the TAF as well. QNH 1019, so 22 degrees Celsius. We'll just adjust numbers to what we need to do. QNH is now 1019. Well, hang on, let's just double check that's refreshed. Let's just double check. What we're doing anything too drastic. Where are we flying to? So we're going into Madeira, buddy. There we go. Very about 2 knots, so nothing's actually changed then. 21 degrees. 10. Yeah, so we're flying to Madeira, everybody. Not too long now before we start on something. So it's very, very dark, which is not ideal for Madeira because you need a reasonable amount of visibility. So once we get to flight 100, we want to be at 250 knots or less. Obviously at the minute we are flying a little bit quicker just to try and reduce the flight time a touch, so 28 minutes. About 25 minutes until London. I'd say guys, feel free to give us a like, comment, subscribe over on YouTube as well as TikTok. Sound of that. So I'm just trying to help someone with that sound. I bet some of it is because you need to. Yes, we are on vaccine, buddy, although there's no traffic nearby. There was a little bit of traffic earlier at Bristol. To be honest, not a great deal at all. It's just that time of day, isn't it, really? Right, let's get the cabin secure for landing to see what sounds going to come on. I don't think we've had our stand information yet. Like I say, there's literally no traffic nearby, so it's Cristiano Ronaldo Airport we're flying to, also known as Madeira. started using it a couple of nights ago. How did you get on with it? Was it alright? Craig, was it okay, mate? It's a bit daunting at first, isn't it? But you soon get used to it. At the minute we can't see anything, can we? We cannot see a single thing.
The captain has now switched on the fasten seatbelt signs and will shortly be landing. Please now return to your seat and make sure that all of those belongings are safely put away into the overhead lockers or under the seat in front of you. Once again, if you're sitting in a front row seat or an emergency exit row, please place all items back into the overhead lockers only, leaving the floor area around your seat completely clear for landing.
Once you go to flight 100, get the landing lights on.
Check that your table is along the way, your seat is in the landing position with the armrest down, and your seatbelt is securely fastened. Your seat in my window and lower the blind, please return this to the open position for operational landing. You may continue to use handheld electronic devices for landing. These must be held securely or placed into a pocket. Larger items, including laptops, to be switched off now and stowed away safely. Please take a moment to remind yourself of your nearest exit and study the safety card in your seat area. In the event of an emergency, leave all hand baggage behind. Thank you.
So, flight level 140 now. Not brilliant, still a lot to learn. Been using Edinburgh, Glasgow and Dublin. Lovely, yeah. I love flying up there. You'll see that I've got a bit of a thing for Edinburgh. I don't know why. I tend to fly up there quite regularly, to be honest. Oh, hey, hey, Vaughan, how are we doing, mate? Hope you're well. So we're just about to start prep for landing. We'll start bringing the speed back soon. So we're knocking a good few minutes off it. 1928 should be our landing time at the minute. Literally no visibility of the island as such. Obviously there's not many lights on that side of the island, so we're a little bit below where we should be, but it's just so we can get a nice steady descent in. So there's been 20 flights this week to, oh no, that's to the airport, sorry. There's been 491 flights this week, but we're the only flight today on Volanta that's flown here. We've got another aircraft across to our left hand side. It is coming to La Palma as well. So he is actually going to cause us a little bit of an issue looking at this. So he's pretty much alongside us at the minute. So we're probably going to need to provide some separation. Madeira traffic, speedbird 97 inbound Madeira, descending flight north for 100. So there's definitely another aircraft here. Yeah, there's loads to learn, mate, to be honest. It takes a little while to build your confidence, Craig, as well. And stuff like that. Can't see the aircraft at the minute, but it's definitely about, so. He's come from Gibraltar. He's a little bit in front of us though, to be fair. We could start slowing ourselves down a touch, I suppose. Let's bring our spells back to 250 knots. Because we don't want to get too close, then we'll have Yeah, that's the thing. Do pick airports that are fairly easy for you to start with, great, just while you're getting used to things. That's what I would recommend. So 10,000 feet, landing lights, plan please. So we'll continue descent now, 6,000 feet. Still a nice steady descent really. 800 feet per minute. Landing system active. Just bring a little bit of the spoilers out just to control the speed a touch. That's spoilers out. Not got this other aircraft. He might not be on the VATSA network though, to be fair. I'll have a quick look to see if he is. If he is on the VATSA network. Oh, he is, yeah. Yeah, so we've got a visual. Just trying to work out what that airline is over. Madeira traffic speedbird 972, Olympica 379, just requesting your speed. See if he responds, he may do, may not. So we've got him visually. I can just see that, lost him again now, so he's a little bit in front of us. He's 20 miles, so we should be okay speed-wise. No worries, mate. Take care. We probably will upload the video anyway, to be quite honest with you. So QNH 1018. Yeah, mate. Wonderful, thank you. It'll be about 20 minutes. He's directly over the island at the minute that we can see across to our left hand side. Way before we get to Madeira anyway. So you want to be 3,000 at Pilum is the ideal. 3,000 plus 700 feet. That's that right. So done. Approach checklist. RF 1018. Seatbelts on. Minimums of 490 Barrow. Water brake medium. Engine mode selector is norm. Approach checklist complete. So here's Madeira Airport, just to the left hand side. I'm pretty sure it's a military airport. So we've currently got 20 mile separation between us and the other aircraft. So the 10 mile mark is where the blue circle is. So this is the point of the extended centre line that we've got here. So we could actually fly onto that extended centre line if you wish. So we could, let's go left 210. Madeira traffic, speed 97, turn left 210 degrees. So what we'll do, we're going to get ourselves onto that nice glide slope track. And we can go inbound Pilum, can't we? We'll do. So we'll put direct into Pilum. We're not going to fly direct, we're going to fly heading like this. So the wind's nice and calm. Here's the little island off to around the left hand side. Start scrolling our speed back a touch as well. So the speed restriction at bottom is 230 knots. We've got the other aircraft in sight, we can just see its helmets there. Baby. Hopefully if we seven on the clouds, it doesn't seem to be. So let's go now direct Pilum. Fly that straight in. Chances are we need to just be careful of our brakes after landing. We'll probably put the water brake on, the brake fans on, and we'll get the cool down time as well. So we've got Madeira just coming into view now. It's about 20 miles or so. So we've not got any visual of the runway as such, but so that's the 10-mile mark that we've got there. There guys, the approach checklist is all done. We're not a million miles from touchdown, so he is, where is he? He seems to be a little bit off the centre line. I don't know whereabouts he's from. So descent atmospheric fuel on board is below minimum. That's fine, don't worry. Madeira traffic, speedbird 97, 30 miles from touchdown, RNAV 23. So we've got the visual of the runway now. Not quite visual enough to go straight in for it. Speed by 97, reducing speed 220 knots. So 3,000 feet. And the ILS set point is 2,000. So we're going to go 2,000 blue. 500 feet minute descent rate. Flaps on. We check flaps on. Flaps 1 out unlocked. So just trying to see where that traffic disappeared to. He is descending. Don't know what runway he's going for, but it's not the runway that I planned. Just trying to find out a bit of information about this other aircraft to see if he. It looks to me like he's doing an approach on the other runway, in which case it's going to be problematic. There's also another aircraft on the ground down Madeira. We've got him white light, so he's heading towards us somewhere. Madeira traffic, speedbird on 7, 20 miles from touchdown, runway 23. Got a horrible feeling this guy's going to go onto the alternative runway. So reduce speed now 180 knots. We've got good visual. Get the spoilers out. Let's get ourselves slowed down. Gear down. $2,000 checked. Approach armed AP1.
2,000.
Approach AP nav armed. 160 till 40 me. Flaps 3. Flaps 4. Manual flap. And approach speed. So we're a little bit high on the approach now. Landing checklist, go around altitude 3000 is set. EGKK landing no loop. Zero traffic, speed 97, short finals, runway 23.
1,000.
Too low. Flight director's off.
Hundred above. $500. Minimum.
Continue.
$400. $300. $100. Retard. Retard.
Spoilers. Reverse screen. Grey, medium, decent. Brake off. Oh, full stop. So we're going to be taxiing onto Alpha Stand 80, I think is the plan.
Very warm welcome to our destination. Remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the fasten seatbelt signs have been switched off. Once it's safe to leave your seats, please do take care when you open the overhead lockers, as items may move during the flight and could fall out and cause injury. You may now make and receive calls, digital data services, on your handheld electronic devices. So check that you have all of your personal belongings with you before you leave the aircraft. Require any assistance here at our destination, please speak to our ground staff colleagues who will be happy to help.
Air traffic, Spirit 97 vacated and stand Alpha 09.
Seated until the aisle around you is clear and our crew will be on hand to assist you.
After landing, radio predictive wind shear system is off.
All of us here at British Airways, One World Alliance, I'd like to thank
The
you
landing
for choosing
complete.
to fly with us today, and we look forward to welcoming you on board again very soon. Once again, thank you, and a very good evening to you all.
So Alpha 09, which I think is just to the left of this jet to holidays. I'll just see how we go there. So a minute post of landing AP is available. Brake fans on. Wait, that's AP is available. Engine master 2 minutes post. Should engine master 1 and 2 off. Spool down a second. Still power connected, save EGKK from off. Parking checklist, parking brake or chocks are set, engines off, wing lights off, and fuel pumps all off. Parking checklist complete. So guys, thank you very much for joining us on this long flight to Madeira. It wasn't the best of landings, if I'm honest. It was a little bit sketchy and was a little bit high on the approach initially, then we ended up being low on the approach. So yeah, it wasn't the best of landings, but we got ourselves on the ground, which is the important thing. Just waiting for passengers and everything to get off. So then we will leave it to it. But no, thank you very much for joining us. We really enjoyed the company and the flying. We'll certainly be doing a daytime flight out of here. I think that'll make things a touch easier. It's a little bit tricky on night time. Here we are out to Madeira, so lovely airport building. Not actually been into the airport, so we can always have a little wander whilst people are deboarding. Not actually been into this airport whatsoever, so let's have a little wander and you guys can see what's what as well. I would hazard guess we can't get up the staircase, but you never know. Some of the things in this new simulator, they're pretty good. Yeah, no, thank you very much for joining us. It's been a pleasure, and as I thought, we can't walk in there, but over I've got this Jet2 A321 next to us as well. But yeah, thank you very much for joining us. If you enjoyed the flight, and don't forget to like, comment and subscribe for more content. So say bye for now and see you again very soon. Bye for now.